This is Pop Culture on Blast. Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Tim.
So today is, well, as of this recording, today is April 6th.
Yes.
And 3 days ago, they released the Joker trailer. And
Joker.
That's what I just said.
Not the Joker, right? It's just Joker.
It's labeled as Joker. I think he's trying to...
I meant like the trailer for the Joker.
The trailer for
Joker.
the Joker movie.
Yes, it's just called Joker. I
Yeah.
realize that. I know it's not called The Titanic either. So, yes. Whatever. So we wanted to talk about it. Tim has quite a few misgivings about it, and I'm hoping to hear from him.
Why do we always start with me?
Okay, I'll start. I'll tell you something, guys, because I know I'm the odd voice in the room on this one. Not only did I like the trailer, I did, but it actually made me think that this movie might actually be good. I think there's a lot of good things going on in the trailer, and it gave me... When we all heard that this movie was going to be what it was and so on, I think we all collectively went, why? You know? And while I do agree that maybe a story about Joker's origin isn't entirely necessary, this movie, the trailer I should say, kind of brightened me up in thinking, I want to see this movie. Like, I'm genuinely curious to see how this plays out for a multitude of reasons that I'm sure we'll go into. So I came away, I don't want to say impressed, but interested, quite interested.
You know, it says on the IMDb page that he's a failed stand-up comedian. Is that correct?
That's from what I got from there, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's a snippet or two.
There was a
implied
scene
that.
in the trailer where he was trying to do stand-up.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw on the in the trailer, I just assumed he was just a clown doing clown things, but
I got the impression he did that, like, when you see him on the street. I got the impression that he was doing that just like for money. He was doing anything because he has no money. He's not a successful comic,
Right.
and he's just doing that, sign shaking thing for extra cash that just happened to be a clown suit that day.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Okay, well, my first impressions of it were that it looked like a TV movie. It looked like a made-for-Netflix movie. It did not have the... not that it looked... I didn't think it looked bad. It did seem to be intriguing to me. It was definitely a different feel than I suspected a movie with the DC branding would have. But it felt kind of something like made for Netflix to me. It didn't have
Like a TV movie?
That's what I just said, TV movie. And I just didn't have the grandeur.
Can you like identify
something with its
why?
photography? It didn't feel right to me. This is not something I can speak about in length. I don't know
on a technical level
lenses
what
very
it is.
well
Yeah,
or
okay.
something like that, or I was going to say film stock, but
I'm sure
I
it's
guess
digital.
I guess that's not used anymore. It had that feel to it, and it had that look to it. And you said something that stuck in my mind where you said it felt like an indie film.
I think
Something.
I used the word art house.
Art house, that's what I meant. Art
Yeah,
house.
it
that
does-
phrase, art house.
It
had
does
that.
kind of have that. I don't want to say look. It has that feel like an art house movie, and by that, I mean it's not a movie that is built on big set pieces or anything like
right.
that.
It looks very contained.
It looks very contained. It looks like, and I said this to both of you, I think, and this is why I'm interested. It looks like a slow burn movie that's a character study. This is my impression of the trailer. I could be totally friggin' wrong, but my impression of the trailer is that it looks like a slow character study of how a person completely loses his mind and becomes essentially someone else as a coping mechanism for the life that he's living. And
Tim's eyes roll.
eyes
back
roll
of his head.
and that final embodiment of a persona just happens to be Batman's arch nemesis. That to me does sound interesting. I would be just as interested in this movie if it was, called Laughing Man, and it was about a guy doing the exact same dissension out of normal life into a life of, let's say, theatrical crime that had nothing to do with superheroes or Batman. That to me would be just as interesting, and that's why I'm interested. But Tim, I don't think that you hold the same thought.
Please share.
I absolutely hated it. It looks terrible.
Why?
It looks. You give it Netflix. I give it. It looks like a student film from a crappy art college.
What?
There's no feel. This man does not give off the I am going to be the Joker vibe. He gives off my mommy says I'm special. He
Wow.
literally said that.
I don't think he's
dancing around in his tidy white. It's not what.
There's
he
one
didn't-
scene in his underwear.
Underwear.
This does not feel like the Joker. This feels like a wannabe version of Fallen Down.
You said that before, and while I
Yes.
understand the analogy to
It-
Falling Down, I
Right.
think this is a very, very different journey.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying as of this trailer, this is what I feel. This guy's not giving off, I'm going to be this man's arch nemesis. This guy is giving off, I had a bad day. So I don't see him as of yet. There has been nothing to show to me where I could say, okay, this led to this, which is why he snapped. Because yes, it builds up, but there is a point where he crosses the line, where he goes past that line and descends into true madness. Not just someone who goes and shoots at people, but the Joker is a different level of madness than other people who snap. He always has been. That's what made him interesting. Is that he, depending on which version, he doesn't care about good or evil. He just cares about himself. He does this because he wants to, because it's fun. Most characters do not even get close to that level.
It sounds to me like you're missing a scene or a snippet of a scene from the trailer that, for example, making this up, shows like the. Not that this would happen, but show the police bust into the Joker's apartment and kill his mother and have him go completely fucking nuts.
I'm
in
not
that
asking
moment.
for a defining moment. It's going to be one of those things where it's everything that culminates, but every time that happens, there's always one thing that pushes you over. There's always one. Oh, you can have a lifetime of
But that's
bad
what I'm
stuff.
saying. Like,
Yeah, well, yes, but I'm not saying it has to be something that massive. I'm saying it doesn't feel like he's lived the life to where because that's what they want it to be. They want it to be a buildup of his life. That's what created him. The trailer has not given me that feeling that I can truly believe that this man has had enough to where he becomes the Joker.
see, I feel like we didn't see the same trailer because even though they didn't show it, to me it's highly implied that something's going to happen to his mother. And that's going to be his final straw. Clearly, this dude is kind of bullied and a failure and all this shit. Like you're saying, everything will culminate. To me, that whole trailer is all about a guy that's got nothing and has failed at everything. And the one thing he had, his mom, is clearly going to be taken from him in some fashion. And he's going to snap.
But to the level of the Joker?
We don't know what's going to cause that snap, though. Something... I know this is perhaps the wrong thing to compare it to with you, but it actually reminds me of the Penguin in Gotham, the TV show Gotham. He had an unnatural attachment to his mother, and when one of the other villains kills his mom in front of him as a method of showing I'm the boss, that, you could argue, sends Penguin over the edge and basically starts his descent to becoming also one of Batman's true villains.
Yes, but the Penguin is not the Joker. One thing that I haven't been getting is that I have truly believed that the Joker's always been at a different level than other villains.
I'll grant you that.
He has always been past the point of rational thought. Every version, he's been an intelligent man. He's smart. He can be strong. He learns martial arts, depending on whatever version of Joker that's been across movies, television, comic, everything. But the one thing is that he's at a different level. Penguin became a true Batman villain. He's not the level of the Joker.
I get what you're saying. Like Penguin, you can actually talk to him and reason with him if you need to. Joker, it's impossible. You can't do it.
I haven't felt. What about you, John? I just don't feel it. That it's been that he.
I don't think also
built up that edge.
I get what you're saying, but I also feel like this movie is not intended to get you all the way there, because I could be totally wrong. This is totally my guess. That shot they show of him, because they show him as Arthur?
Yeah.
As a totally broken man walking up the stairs, like defeated, you know? And then the last shot of the trailer is him as the Joker. Let's say, bouncing and jumping down the stairs. I would be willing to bet that's the last shot of the movie. I'll bet he doesn't really become kind of the Joker, or even proto-Joker, until basically the end of the movie. Because I don't think the movie is about him being the Joker. It's about that slow descent. And I think wherever this movie ends, is just my theory, I think wherever this movie ends, there's still a good year or two of living for him to even get to that point where you're saying, where he is this absolute maniacal guy. But what I think this movie will achieve, I think what I hope it will achieve is getting him to the point, kind of like you're saying, where we see the seeds of a guy that there's no coming back. Like you're saying, what is it about the Joker that makes him, like you're saying, that one Batman villain that he's above everyone else? I think that's the point of this movie, is to give us the root of what makes the Joker what he is, while not entirely showing us the Joker. Do you get that?
Yes, I get that.
Okay. I mean, that's what I feel this trailer is depicting, and that's why it seems so interesting. But you're worried that connective tissue isn't there, or at least based on the trailer, right?
That's what I'm picking up. From what they've showed, I haven't felt. It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't. It's hard to explain because it's a feeling. They're not giving off that feeling that he will become him. They're giving off that he can become a version of Joker, like the Gotham one. Rolling my eyes on that one too.
That's a whole nother.
And I know, but that's not the Joker. That's just a guy who is the Joker.
Now, so to me, I know Josh doesn't have any idea about the show Gotham, but to me, the show Gotham's Joker, he's far less interesting to me because he's just simply batshit crazy. They do play him as intelligent, but it's almost like I'm not interested because, like you said, so many of the versions of the Joker, the really good ones, like Heath Ledger's, he's fucking compelling because you know he's super intelligent and he's playing a game that no one else knows they're a part of, and that's what makes him interesting. And some villains are intentionally trying to subvert your... The Joker is kind of like William Shatner. William Shatner is usually doing his own jokes in his head for his own amusement. And, like, have you seen him in interviews?
You just compared the Joker to William Shatner.
I'm just saying, William Shatner is very often saying things to the camera that other people will take as fact.
Do you think the Joker's going to do a rendition of Rocket Man?
Oh,
Rocket Man.
Someone send this to Mark Hamill. Let's make this happen.
I think the Joker would watch an interview with William Shatner and laugh his ass off because he would totally get what William Shatner is doing, which is he's telling a joke for himself. And I think, in a way, as weird as it sounds, that's what this Joker movie is going to be getting to, is a guy that can make himself laugh because he's so fucking depressed. And that seems interesting to me. I was surprised, Josh, that it didn't interest you. Because you, from what my observations are, you tend to gravitate to not just characters, but stories that are very grounded in a sense of realism and go to an unexpected place. That's not a bad thing. It's just that's interesting.
Well, that's, now that you bring it up, you make a good point. I can see why you would think this would interest me.
Right. But
it does. But therefore,
touche, sir.
I think it's partly because of Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm not him as an actor. You're just
not a fan. Not a fan of Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
Not a hater of Joaquin Phoenix. He's an actor. He has a very particular style, and I think it's because of Joaquin Phoenix we're getting this style of Joker, that we're getting this style of movie. Let me put it that way.
Let me ask you real fast. Did you see the movie Her?
Yes.
Okay, continue.
Why did you bring that up?
Because I feel I understand what you're saying about Joaquin Phoenix and the kind of characters, at least in the past 5-10 years, maybe he seems to gravitate to. But I felt her. Did you see Tim?
Yes.
I felt her was different, and I felt like that. I really enjoyed him in that. He felt like a very kind of like this, a very broken guy.
Well, I think that was also,
but not over the top.
Spike Jonze too with that style. Of film.
Sure.
But when it comes to Joaquin Phoenix, he's kind of built up this reputation for being
Weird.
And he did a movie called I'm Not There, I think.
Yeah.
And where he kind of
He became that character. in
right, it
real
was
life.
kind of like a big joke or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And I'm like,
He pulled like an Andy Kaufman.
he's like, I'm an artist. He's that kind of actor. He's like,
Yeah,
my body
yeah.
is my instrument, that kind of a thing. And I think that's why we're getting this style of movie that's kind of art house feeling to it. Nothing wrong with that, but it does have a lot of things in it that I think would be compelling to me. A character that is a broken character. He's an isolated character. He's fractured. He doesn't have connections. He has to build his way out of that and find his own path without help from anybody else. He's misunderstood.
Probably.
Right. And I can see why you would think I would be drawn to that.
And yet you're not.
I have a predilection for that kind of thing, so to
Yeah.
speak. I don't know why this one movie's coming to mind. The Postman, which nobody remembers.
It's
Kevin.
an interesting comparison.
Well,
Kevin Costner was delivering mail.
Kevin
wrong with
Costner.
that?
Kevin
Nothing
Costner.
at all.
In that movie, Kevin Costner played a loner character, but he survived on his own wits, on his own merit. He got by just by his own means. There was nobody else that was backing up the Postman. Nobody else was backing him up except his horse in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
That was it. So, yeah, I could see why Joaquin Phoenix playing this kind of broken character, the roots of this broken character, why I might like it. But I think it, for one thing, it's a comic book movie, so I'm not, by default, I'm not incredibly interested in it.
Okay.
I think that if I watched it, I would enjoy it if I just separated that part from it, which I think is what they're trying to do. I think they are doing what you just described about that. It's just going to be a story of a man and how he got to be so disturbed, or on the way to how he got to be so disturbed. Like when you see, if someone who didn't know anything about Batman watched, let's say they watched Jack Nicholson Joker or the Heath Ledger Joker, right? And they've never seen anything related to Batman before. And they've sat back and thought, like, how did that guy get to be that way? And then Joaquin Phoenix says, well, I'm going to show you. Maybe I'm not going to show you how exactly he got to that moment when he, threw money out in the parade, but I'm going to show you. Yeah, money, money, money. Who do you trust?
Trust. Hubba, hubba, hubba.
I'm not going to show you how he got there, but I'm going to show you the seeds of how he became the Joker, how he became so disturbed. Like, where did that tear in his mind start? Where did it come from? And maybe it could have come from his mother, maybe it could have come from somewhere else. I'm sure there's many different histories in Batman lore of how he became
there
there
are
are.
multiple.
So just the fact that it's his mother, I'm fine with that. I mean, it's obvious. I hope it's not the only reason why.
Well, it's not, and I guess maybe that's a good spot to segue to Tim. I was going to say, because like you said, yes, in the comics there are, just like with any superhero, there's kind of variations on their origin.
Not every superhero.
Not
though.
everyone, but Joker.
Just some of them.
Joker's definitely one of those tricky characters where people have dabbled. And I know, Tim, we mentioned the Killing Joke, and that this obviously seems to riff on some of it. But what can you tell us about the Killing Joke origin and how it certainly differs from what we're seeing here?
Well, there's no wife and daughter.
I want to say daughter.
Daughter. No wife and daughter. It feels somewhat the same. He was trying his hand at stand up, and then he goes to be a lookout because he owes
like the mob money.
He owes the mob money because he borrowed money from the mob in order to pay off his bills, and then so he's a lookout, and I can't remember what happened. Someone died.
They basically they use him like as a patsy. You know, they kind of set him up to take the fall for something.
Yeah. Something
to that effect. And he gets not delusional, but like the whole thing kind of delusions. I'm using that word wrong. It messes with his head, you know. Now, does it bother you, Tim, that it seems like it's a departure from what you've seen or read in comics?
No, I've liked different versions of the origins of supervillains. I like when they try to modernize it or change it, but they're doing, if we go your direction, if it's mom, okay, so the killing of his parents is what pushed him over the edge, and instead of being a good guy, he becomes a bad guy. How many superheroes has that? My parents died. It's cliche, it's done, it's standard.
Well, hold on there, though. What about the Killing Joke? Didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the mob kill his wife?
Yes.
How is that any different?
It felt different.
But that's because you saw it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I'm not going to enjoy this movie. I'm saying as of this trailer, it does not feel like he has the ability to push to where the Joker is.
How do you mean by feel? I mean, there's a lot you're packing into that word.
It's hard to explain. It's just...
We'll try to explain it.
Okay, what we have seen, what they've shown of Joaquin Phoenix, everything, I haven't felt the edge that he gives off, the vibe that I'm going to be pushed so far that I become him. In the Killing Joke animated story, they gave the vibe that you could see and you could feel him along the path. Because part of the problem is we haven't seen the path yet. Mm-hmm. We don't know the path. We just know bits and snippets, little this and that of it. I haven't been able to see it to where, okay, I believe that this would happen to him. It's a realistic portrayal of what can push a man over the edge. Truly over the edge.
I think they're just holding out, and they don't want to show us that moment.
Of course.
I believe it'll be there.
If they showed us that moment, that would truly ruin the film for me, honestly.
You know, as we're talking about these like spark moments that kind of do it, you know what comes to mind? Probably one of the worst movies to compare it to, but Episode 2. For me, in a lot of ways, Darth Vader is born in that hut with his mom. When she dies and he looks up, I know people trash Hayden in that movie, but I thought the look he did was great. He goes in one shot from the compassion and heartbreak of losing his mom to looking up, and you hear that dark music kick in. He's done.
Unfortunately, it's one of the shortest scenes.
Unfortunately, it is. And that's when he goes out and starts.
It's like as soon as it starts to get good, they cut. It's like, wait,
they cut away. I know, but to me, like you see in that moment, Anakin just died, because what Anakin was holding on to was his mother, and when she died, if she had died naturally, you know, it would have been very different. But she was essentially murdered, and when she died in front of him, Anakin died and Darth was born just without a name.
Well, but they also built that up within the story, how he was having the dreams, the nightmares, and he found people to blame for the reason. They showed you the path that he took, and that's part of the path. That's what we're missing so far.
But I think that's in there.
2 minutes.
They could have those things. You're judging it off of a teaser.
I'm very curious who that boy is that he
forces the smile.
Like that's a very personal act to do. He knows that boy.
Again, this is what we're just going off of, is the little teaser trailer. I'm not saying I'm going to go in. Oh my god, this isn't. I told you I'm going to go in. My expectations as of now are low.
I'm surprised mine are high.
New trailers, it might hit the point to where, you know what, I can't wait to see this movie, but right now it's not there from what I've seen.
Do you think that boy could be his son? Do you think maybe the events like saying the Killing Joke with the daughter and the kid in a way happened and she's left him? And
only they turned it into a boy and he's such a loser he had to move back in with mom?
Basically. And, you know.
I could see that.
And I'll tell you something else. Let me ask you this, both of you for that matter. Is that something you want to see? Do you want to know what Joker's mom was like if he has a kid, and if that kid is even still out there? I don't know if I want to know that. That's what I thought was so bloody brilliant about The Dark Knight, is that every time Heath Ledger told the Joker of how he became the Joker, it was a different story. And in other words, he's saying, I'll never tell you how I got to be this way. And there's probably a nugget of truth in all of those things, but they're all lies. Do you, just like Darth Vader, do you think there's something that ruins the Joker by showing this? Because just based on that trailer, just on the trailer, I actually feel sorry for the guy. And like, I don't want to sympathize
Well,
for
that's
the
the whole
Joker.
point of this movie.
I
That is the
understand
whole
that,
point.
but isn't that a problem?
I don't think so.
No.
I like the idea that this movie is going to be making
A sympathetic character.
out of a villain. I like that. I
If-
like it a lot. So
If they do it well, I agree with you.
But-
If they pull it off, I agree. I don't mind finding out that this was the Joker's life before he was the Joker.
Do you feel maybe he's even a little too old
Joaquin,
No.
to evolve into the Joker at this age?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
We got used to a younger version of the Joker. That's the
true.
problem. We
Yeah.
got used to Heath Ledger. We got used to the animated version with Mark Hamill, where he was young and in his late 20s, early 30s. You know, the Joker has not always been that. The Joker's been a broken man for a long time.
I guess to back up what you're saying, I guess in truth, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but wasn't like the first live action depiction of the Joker, what's his name in the Batman 60s show?
Caesar.
Caesar
Romero.
Romero. And he was
Yeah.
like in his 60s, so I guess.
Yeah,
it
see,
doesn't
we
matter.
were used to a young one, even
Yeah,
when they
fair
did
enough. All right.
the Flashpoint Paradox. We get another young Joker, and
What about the setting, the date? It looks like it's in what, the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, maybe.
look, I think they're lining it up with the 80s.
it doesn't look.
It's not modern.
you're
It's
right.
not modern. It's the past.
What I mean, do you feel they did that in to try and maybe not event by event line up with some of the other Batmans, but just to set them in the right time frame?
They have to time it because they said there's a scene where they're discussing if that was Thomas Wayne or not in one of the shots.
So they do need to set it back in the past enough to explain that.
Yeah, because Tom and Martha have to still be alive.
I wonder how much like name dropping and little Easter eggs they're going to be putting.
Well,
out
like I
there.
said, I can't remember which scene it was, but someone was saying that there is what they believe to be Thomas Wayne actually in one of the shots within the trailer itself.
Is that right? Okay.
I think those will just be fan services.
I hope to
yeah,
God
they
we
will.
don't see a little Bruce Wayne.
No. I doubt Bruce is even alive right now. Or if he is, he's like a little baby.
Oh,
There's
he's
no
got to
way-
be older than that. Joaquin Phoenix looks
he's-
like he's 45 years old.
Right. I think he'd be a boy at least.
Or a teenager even. Yeah,
Young
He
he's-
can't be a
teenager.
teenager. He was
Whoa.
8 when they died.
Yeah, but we're not implying that the Joker killed them, are we?
No, we're saying that he can't be a teenager if Thomas and Martha Wayne are still alive.
Oh, I see what you mean. He could, 10 tops?
He was 8 when they died.
Well,
Again.
is that definitive? Can we say
Yes.
in every version
Pretty
of Batman?
much. Well, no. In the strongest one, he's 8 to 12. He wasn't a teenager yet.
Is this the comic that's sitting next to the one where Wookiees are in fact gardeners? Tim?
First of all, that's not a comic. That's a video game.
no,
All
it's a
right.
video
And
game.
What?
it's
What?
canon.
You said it was a comic.
No, I didn't. I told you it was a video game.
No.
We're basing
Yes.
this off of a video game.
No, we're not.
Come on, man. You said it was a book.
I never said it was a book.
I could swear you said it
I
was a
said
book.
it was a story within the game itself, which is classified as canon again when they reintroduced Darth Revan, and we totally went sideways on our conversation again.
My mind is totally blown.
Okay, so no, he's always been 8 to 12. He's never been a teenager.
I said 10.
Yes, but
Tops.
it starts out with 8. In the movie, he's 8. So that way, 20 years later, he's 28.
So we might see a 10-year-old Bruce. Maybe.
We'll probably get like a skyline shot of Wayne Tower, just chilling in the
Oh,
background.
for sure. I mean, they name drop Gotham. in the
They're
trailer.
gonna be
Yeah.
walking, and you're gonna hear news. Wayne Enterprises today doing
Oh,
this
yeah,
just
yeah,
on
yeah.
the television. You're gonna get the fan stuff.
Definitely.
Question is, will we get potential other villain or people the fans know who will become villains as spoilers for what Gotham should have been
You mean
instead
like-
of what it became?
Like, will District
Hey,
Attorney Harvey
no,
Dent
hey.
offer to
No. Here's what I do.
do something?
Have Bruce and Harvey just have them on a play date. Just have them playing in a park somewhere, and we know it's Harvey Dent and Bruce. Because you just hear you hear Alfred say, "Harvey, Bruce, come, Master Bruce, Master Harvey, come on in." We know who they are.
I don't think Joaquin Phoenix would have gotten involved if this movie was going to be so much fan wank.
They still have to do that.
Well, like
though.
Tim's saying, like maybe just a.
Why do they
a
still
shot.
have to do that?
Because the fans expect it, and if it's not in there, the fans get pissed off.
I know they expect it, but hasn't the internet been alive with the fact that DC is?
There seems to be a very strong reaction to this trailer.
Well, that DC is going to be doing standalone stuff, and so not making ties to other movies.
Yes, but these aren't other movies. These are the future of Batman.
I think Tim's right.
I'm not talking, we found Atlantis, or, look, there's an island of Amazon women. I'm discussing Bruce is the future of the Joker. Harvey Dent is the future with the Joker. People within his own franchise, within the Batman universe, within his standalone verse.
Oh my God. I just thought of like an amazing scene for this movie. Mm-hmm. All right. So, well before he becomes even a proto-Joker in this movie, just like you said, they're at a park. He's sitting there with his mom. They're watching the kids. Maybe he's silently watching his kid, if that's his kid, to watch him play or something. And he's telling his mom, I've got nothing. I have no purpose. I have no this. And she says, you just need to find that thing that gives you drive, that thing that gives you ambition or whatever. And just down in the background, like you said, a limo pulls up. Master Bruce, time to come home. And that's our little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that there in fact lies his future, his drive, that which makes him strive to make people laugh. Because that was always Joker's, one of his craziest things, is that it just drove him friggin' mad that the Batman would never laugh at anything he did. And that's why he never killed the Batman, because he always wanted to make him laugh. And Batman knew that, so of course he would never give him that satisfaction, except in the Killing Joke, which I thought was brilliant, where he laughed.
At the end, he laughed at the end with him.
And then there's that whole theory of what happened afterwards, but that's a whole other story.
They partied together?
There's the theory, because it's not on the page, nor is it in the movie. The last shot of I assume it's the last shot of the book, but in the movie, Joker and Batman are just standing face to face talking to each other, and the Joker tells Batman a joke.
Terrible joke.
No, it's the other way. Is it? Does Batman tell the joke? Okay. No, it's Joker. The Joker tells Batman a joke. And Batman sits for a second, and he laughs, like a big belly laugh. And he puts his hand on the Joker's shoulder, because they had a whole talk before that was really interesting, where basically he says, there's that moment, because they're talking, and this is the finale happened, and he's telling something happened to where he kind of saw the Joker for what he was, and he stopped trying to just bust him, and he said, let me help you. Basically he recognized that this was a truly hurt man, and he said, let me take you in somewhere else, and help you. And the Joker, in one of those moments of clarity, said, I can't. I'm too far gone. You can't save me. But let me tell you a joke. And then he tells him this joke. And then Batman has this, he lets it out. And he like puts, like a friend almost, puts his hand on the Joker's shoulder as they're laughing. And the camera pans down. And there's a shadow, which breaks. Like the shadow like breaks its form. And the fan theory is that Batman killed him right after that. That he broke his neck. Because he just that's too much, like they shared this, and Batman's like, can't have it, so he put the wounded animal down and he killed the Joker. That's just a theory, but it's a very interesting one that makes these characters so compelling, and their history is inevitably tied to each other. So a scene like that with the park, to me, sounds kind of little wink. I know to someone like you, Josh, that seems over the top, and it is, but I think it's all we should get, if that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, my reaction to a scene like that would be like this.
That's the Bruce scene.
Oh, that's because they meet later. Ha ha.
I know.
I get it. Like, it's kind of like it's too expected. I don't think they're going to do anything like that.
You don't think they're going to have a Bruce scene?
No, not from the looks of this trailer. And
I would agree, probably. I hope not. But if they do, I'll bet
it looks like it's going to be
that.
its own animal. I'm thinking it's going to be
no Bruce at all.
No, I think
it'll be simple as like Tim said. There'll be a news thing of Thomas
I think it's
Wayne.
going to be a total character study, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get a lot of fan wank in there.
Not a lot. No,
not at all.
But I do think we will get something. Because
And I think it's going to be even more divisive when it comes out.
100%.
I think it's going to split people down the middle.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get people like me that are not as into it as Tim is, and are going to think, "Oh, what a great movie!" Like, "Oh, this broke." Fuck you. This broke. I'm getting laughed at over here.
No, I'm literally picturing. This is how I picture the theater experience potentially going.
Yeah.
You have the fans, like the DC fans, watching the movie, going, "This is bullshit. Why isn't it like The Killing Joke or this or whatever?" And then the camera pans over and there's Josh pounding his popcorn. "This is fucking great. I love this flick. You all are fucking stupid."
Like, what's wrong with you guys? This is a really good movie.
That's literally what I see.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It's going to be very divisive.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think between the three of us, it's going to be a divisive movie. Because we seem to be looking... I don't know. I mean, Tim, I do think we're looking for the same thing. You're needing to see it reflected in the trailer, at least in some fashion, to show that it shows that.
Like I said, I don't feel it yet.
Yeah.
I never said that will change when I see. That can't change when I see the movie. As of now, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
It looks like falling down. It really does to me. That's all it does.
Maybe you should mention what Falling Down is, because that is kind of an old reference.
Michael
Directed
Douglas?
by the director of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Joel
by the
Schumacher.
way. Yeah.
Man gets pushed over the edge, and he snaps.
Well, that's kind of vague, but okay.
Yeah,
I was
well,
hoping
Michael-
for a little bit more of a bigger
Michael
plot
Douglas.
synopsis.
Michael Douglas is on his way to work.
Yeah.
There's an incident, which I can't remember what incident.
And his
what
life's
happens.
not going very good.
His life is crap.
Yeah.
He knows it's crap, and he's just trying to go to work. And
He's a white collar.
he's a white collar,
Guy.
basic
Stuck-
tie, 9 to 5 person.
Right.
And he gets pushed over the edge, and he snaps. And
Well, I mean, the thing that he's caught in traffic. That's
Yeah,
the
like
thing that
his
initially
car
makes
gets
him
stuck in
snap.
traffic, so he
On,
decides
like,
to walk home
on one
or
of the
something.
hottest days in LA or something.
Yeah,
like that.
and on his
Journey.
journey walk across the city, he encounters like
He has all
every
these great
bullshit
adventures.
element
yeah,
that could go well, but
he
ultimately
walks
doesn't.
through a golf course. He walks through a gangland territory.
and everyone treats him like shit.
he
Basically.
gets pushed over the edge, and he snaps.
Yeah,
And he gets the bag of guns from the drug dealers, and
Right.
he goes to the fast food place and just tries to order something. No one listens to him, so he makes them listen.
He just wanted breakfast. That's all.
He just wanted something to eat, okay?
Well, it was breakfast.
They kept pushing him, and they push and they push. I'm sorry, I went Rambo on you.
no, they picked on him
No.
on the wrong day.
They did, and that's what it feels like as of now. He was pushed, but that guy was never going to be the Joker. You know,
I
He
get
was
your
never
analogy,
pushed
but
that far.
I don't agree with it. It doesn't feel like that to me. Feel like that to me.
feel. Yes.
It feels very different. You know, like when you watch Falling Down, you know that if this guy encountered bullies picking on a kid or something, like he would come to someone's defense. This guy, Arthur, there's something else going on, man. There's some darkness. I would not want to be alone in a room with this guy.
yeah, because his mommy told him he's special.
You keep saying that. Why do you keep saying that?
Because his mommy said he's special, so he's the Joker now.
It's so much more complex than that.
Not really. His mom said he's special, so I'm going to be a supervillain.
Oh
Boom.
my god. And you're still telling me you can go into this movie with an open mind?
I told you I'm going in with low expectations. Never said anything with an open mind.
You said the other day that you
I
could
can
go
go
in
in
with an
there,
open mind.
and I'm not gonna bring this in there. I'm gonna be like, okay, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I have to watch it first. As of what I've seen, it does not look like it'll be good. There will be more trailers coming out, and I will watch them, and I hope that it looks better. I don't want this movie to fail. I want to see an interesting take on the Joker.
Can't you give them a little credit for trying something a little different? I mean, look at, for instance, Solo. And that movie pretty much gave us exactly what we expected. Oh, this is the scene where this
Almost
happens.
verbatim.
This is the scene where he meets Chewie. It's like, oh, well, see, this is how they came to be. It's like it's taking a different approach, a little bit more of a, I hate to say the phrase, art house approach again, but it's taking a different, more creative avenue towards describing who this person is, right? I mean, you could take Han Solo and say, well, this is the reason why he's a smuggler or why he doesn't trust anyone. Because Woody Harrelson said, I told you not to trust anyone.
Always shoot first, kid.
Right. I mean, well, this is where he learned it. It's like, well, it's not that simple.
Maybe it's not that literal.
It's not that literal. This is going to show you, just kind of like Justin said, a slow burn. This is going to be a slow descent. There's going to be not a defining moment that says, this is why he became this way. This is why he started painting his face. No.
I think that shot in the again, could be totally wrong because it could be all context. That shot in the trailer with the show, it looks like he's in a club and he's probably watching someone perform and he's laughing, ha 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 ha, whatever he does. I'll bet you money.
But that's the final shot.
Oh, no. I think that's probably in the middle of the movie. But I'll bet you that whatever that comedian is saying, no one else is laughing at. And he's the only one that finds
There didn't seem to be a gale of laughter going on.
I'll bet you it's something that other people find disturbing or heartbreaking. He finds it absolutely hilarious. By the way, did you like the laugh? That one snippet of his Joker laugh?
I need more. I'm not judging that yet. I'm not judging it. I need the full laugh. You can take a little bit of it. Joker has a very long laugh if he gets going. He's always had a long laugh in every version of it. And I need to actually hear it. I'm not judging that yet.
Okay. All right.
I'm not judging that. I haven't heard it to where it's at least the extent of what it is, because they pretty much cut it in there and it's like, what, a couple seconds and that's it.
Yeah.
I bet in that scene when he laughs in the club, I bet the material hasn't even started yet from the comic. Maybe he's like depressed and said, my dog just died, and then he starts laughing.
Could be. I know whatever it is going to be something he's the only one laughing.
Right.
Guaranteed. But I kind of basically said this before, and I guess maybe I'll leave my thoughts on this. That Joker, or that man who will become Joker, he would scare me. And you should be scared of the Joker. The Joker should freaking terrify you. And not like in a evil clown thing. I mean, when I look at that dude's face, when I look in his eyes, I look at a guy who is... We're not on the same planet. And that scares me because I know, like we said before, you can't reason. He's like the Terminator. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be whatevered with. And it will not stop. That guy scares me. And that's why to kind of go with what you had implied before, that's why I believe this guy can be Batman's enemy. Because just based on that trailer and Joaquin Phoenix, who can go somewhere with his face, that dude scares me, and I believe he could provide a good foil for Batman in the sense that he is 100% unpredictable and has no limits whatsoever. Josh, any final thoughts on Joker?
I'm not really looking forward to it. If it's delivered to me, I'll watch it. I'm not going to make my way.
You're
out
not
to
going to
see
seek it out in the theater?
No, absolutely not.
If I invite you to go with me, you will not go?
I don't think so. I don't really have much of an interest to go watch it.
All right.
It's not Bill and Ted to me. That I'll go seek out.
Of course.
This, it looks interesting. If it was on TV, I would watch it. If it was on a streaming service available to me. So, I mean, I think I'd wait to that point. I think it will be divisive. I think it's going to be more and more divisive as more footage comes out about it and there's more speculation. Mm-hmm. And then I think the final death nail is going to be that Thursday, Friday when it opens, and then we finally get some audience reactions from it. It's going to be split right down the middle.
Oh, that's to quote Bruce Wayne in the original Batman.
Right.
Split right down the middle. No,
Right
that's
down the center.
Catwoman. I'm sorry, that's Catwoman.
No, he says that to...
That's not Batman. That's Batman Returns.
Yeah, I know.
I said Batman.
Right down the center.
Right down the center. Yeah, I agree, dude. No matter what, this movie is going to be divisive. Because it is neither 100% not comic, nor is it 100% comic. And you're never going to make everyone happy.
I think this is what we're going to get. I think people are going to say, well, it's a good movie. It's just not a comic movie.
Yeah.
Or it's not a Joker movie. I think that's what we're going to get. It was well acted, but it's just not what we wanted.
They'll say, it's that movie we don't talk about when you talk about the DC universe. Because it's not really the DC universe proper. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Although, unlike you, I'm very interested and I'm going to seek it out. It sounds like I'm probably going to be one of the few people that actually like the damn thing. I think critics will say basically variations of what you just said. Good performances, but it's going to be a movie about butt.
Could be a movie about butts.
About the butts. Because it gives that strong art house feel, I think it's going to end in a very abstract-y way, which is not for the masses. And when you title a movie The Joker and say that this is a precursor to the Batman universe, that does not compute, I think, with a lot of people. And I think it will cause that sort of reaction. But I'm eager to see it.
I think you're right. I think it's not going to give people that definitive kind of conclusion
No.
that people would expect from something comic book related.
You mean like the end of the end of Batman Begins when Commissioner Gordon gives him the card. Hey, there's this guy killing people down below. That's
Right.
dun dun dun. You know, there's not going to be a moment like
Well,
that.
I was thinking I was going back to the '89 Batman where it's closed end to end. It's like he kills the Joker. Joker falls down, dies.
Right.
End of story. Batman wins. Everything's wrapped up. This, nope. I don't think it's going to be something like, I hate to say it, Empire Strikes Back. We're going to get an emotional kind of climax. And it's not going to be something that's wholly satisfying. It's not going to end in a big explosion.
No.
It's going to be something you're going to feel a lot of sorrow at the end. You're going to feel confused. You're not quite sure how what you're supposed to feel.
You're going to be like, why am I enjoying this guy? You know?
I think it's going to leave you thinking. I think that's what they're trying to do. It's something that's supposed to hang with you for a few days.
I agree with you completely. Tim? Final thoughts?
I think I agree with you guys too. It'll end the Killing Joke style. How the Killing Joke ended with, like you were discussing, how you don't know if he killed him, did he? It'll be left up to the interpretation of the audience of what happens next and where he goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be who he
later becomes.
Will become. He'll be who he is at that point. And it won't. There'll be still steps to go along the road for him to become that. But if they do it correctly, they could show you that he actually will go down that road. And like I've said multiple times, it'll feel like he will go down that road and become who he will be. I am iffy. I've been critical of it, but from what I've seen, it's But I'm not going to go in fully judging it until I see the whole thing, and then I will judge it accordingly.
Oh, I know you will.
I feel you can't judge something until you at least see it. You have to watch it.
That's fair. Yes.
You can't be like, oh my god, I hate this because this person's a girl, or why is that there, or why did Luke die? No, you have to watch the whole thing.
For someone who's so
and then
open-minded
judge.
about Tyler Perry movies, I'm surprised you're being so critical.
Because Tyler Perry is the same exact thing. You go in and just have a laugh. It's not the Joker. Medea's not
Not
the
sophisticated,
Joker.
is that what you're saying?
It's not the Joker. Like I've said multiple times, he's at another level of everyone else. The character is at a different level than 90 to 98%
I get it. I was
of
being
it all.
shitty.
Yeah.
I get it.
I know you were, but I have to explain.
Well, you know.
We're trying to end here, and you got me monologuing again.
No,
right.
you're saying, inherently the Joker is such a big character
Yes.
that this is going to have to work really hard to fill that hole that no one felt,
I hope it does.
Yeah.
And I think Joaquin Phoenix can. I enjoy him. Unless he's trying to kill aliens with glasses of water, I'm okay with him. He's
Brings up a Signs reference.
Yes, he's a good actor. I think he could pull this off. As long as he's got a good script, and I don't think he would have done it without it.
Fair enough.
When it comes out, I'll see it Thursday. I'll go see it 7 o'clock. Come back the next day. Tell you guys when I go to work how I felt about it.
I'm going to be there with you on that Thursday. I'm
Wow, really?
I'm going opening day.
That's
now.
a new one. But no, I can't wait to see what they do. Good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
At least that way I'll know.
Well, when we get a full trailer, maybe we can come back and revisit this topic.
Yeah.
And see what we've come up with, what new things have been revealed, if our opinions have changed.
Yeah. I see we're done. So I'll just say I think those steps are symbolic. And I think they're going to be presented that way in the movie.
From like an ascent to a descent.
Yeah, the descent to madness.
Either that or yes, that for sure. I think they are symbolic of that, and I think those steps, as we've said, pretty much all in agreement. This movie will not end with a, and the next day he met Batman. No, that's a while off.
Do you think it's going to end with Chief Gordon giving him a card? Hey, there's this
This
Caped
Bat guy out there.
Hey, there's this guy.
I think you guys should meet.
He's into theatrics like you.
No.
He leaves the car.
No, that I really do believe that shot on the steps where he's jumping around, that's the last shot. And I think it will be either him bouncing and jumping or him walking up or walking down, symbolizing that he's got more journey to go before he gets to where.
I see where it could be. I really hope it isn't, because I hate it when they do that in trailers where they give me the last shot of the movie.
Oh, yeah, well,
That
I don't
really
have much
pisses
faith
me
in
off.
trailers anymore, unfortunately. But
Well-
that's my gut instinct. And I'm cool with the steps representing that.
Well, if you'd like to contact us directly, if you have any topics you'd like us to cover, any criticisms you'd like to bring upon the show, please share. You can email us at pconblast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at popcultureonblast. You can also listen to us on YouTube, on Google Play Music, on Spotify.
Yes.
Until next time, I'm Josh. So
I'm
long.
Justin.
And I'm Tim.